The deadlines for applying for student finance are typically around the end of May and June. So spring is the time to really start thinking about your options if you haven't already. It can be a bit intimidating when we start talking about loans and finance, but for most students in the UK, this is how they can afford to go to uni. The trick is to understand what you're getting yourself in for. So in this video, I'll take you through what we mean when we say student finance, how it works, how much you can borrow, how to apply, plus some juicy FAQs like when will your student loans be written off? There's a lot covered in this video, so if you think one or just a couple of chapters would be helpful to you, feel free to skip ahead to that specific chapter using the timeline below. And if you find this video helpful, give us some love below by liking and subscribing to the channel. Cool, let's get into it. There are lots of student finance options available, including grants, personal loans, student overdrafts, and credit cards, which you can learn more about by clicking this link here and scrolling down to the bottom of the page. In this video, I'm just going to focus on the two loans that for most students will be the main feature of their student finance. Things like overdrafts and credit cards can be added into the mix based on personal preference, but as I say, most students will be looking at these two loans to get started. First up, we have tuition fee loans. These cover the fees charged by your university. And then we have maintenance loans. These cover the cost of living during your time at uni. Okay, for anyone who doesn't know, a loan is a sum of money that you borrow typically to make big life purchases like buying a car or, in this case, getting a higher education. Obviously, no one's going to lend you money for nothing, so when you take out a loan, you'll be charged interest, which is like a fee from the loan provider for giving you the money. Interest is usually calculated as a percentage of what you borrow over a year. So if you borrow £1,000 with a 5% interest charge, you would have to pay back a total of £1,050 over the year. Tuition fee loans and maintenance loans are not available to every single student in the UK. Your eligibility will depend on 5 criteria, including what university or college you go to, the course you've been accepted on, whether you've studied a higher education course before, your age, and your nationality or residency status. Click this link here if you want to look at more specifics on each, or contact your uni directly if you're not sure whether your course qualifies. These student loans are different from a non-student loan that your parents might have taken out. Student loans are provided by the government-owned and very creatively named Student Loans Company rather than a bank. Student loans won't appear on your credit record like a regular loan would. So if you were trying to get a mortgage later in life, for example, your student loan debt wouldn't impact the outcome at all. Helpful for some parents to know if they start freaking out about you having student loans before you've barely even turned 18. Because they are paying off your uni fees, tuition fee loans are paid directly to your university each semester, so you won't see any of that cash in your bank account. If you successfully qualify for a tuition fee loan, you will get 100% of your tuition fees covered by the loan. And I'll talk more about how much you'll get in the next section. Maintenance loans are paid into your personal bank account, again in 3 chunks each semester. Unlike tuition fee loans, where you'll get 100% of your fees covered, maintenance loans are means tested, which means the amount you get will depend on your household income, essentially what your parents earn, as well as where you're studying and living. When you take out a student loan, you'll be put on one or several of these repayment plans. Plan 3 are postgraduate loans, in case you're confused. Most students from England starting an undergrad course after August 2023 will be put on Plan 5. When you start paying back your loans and how much you pay will depend on your payment plan, when you finish studying and how much you earn. In most cases though, you won't start paying them back until you finish studying. You can find out more about each payment plan via the link in the description below. It is worth noting that you will start earning interest on your loans from the moment you take them out, even while you're still at uni. And again, the amount of interest you pay also depends on which payment plan you're on. When you reach the repayment thresholds, your student loan repayments will automatically be taken off your salary each month, in the same way as your national insurance tax, for example. If you're self-employed, you will need to manage your own repayments. You can make extra repayments at any time too, but it's only worth doing these if you think you'll clear the loan before it gets written off. More on this later. How much money you'll get for both tuition fee loans and maintenance loans is hugely dependent on where you're studying, where you live, and your personal circumstances. So I can only give you broad figures in this section. Again, click the link here if you want more specifics. If you're studying in England, Scotland or Northern Ireland, tuition fee loans can be up to £9,250 or up to £9,000 a year if studying in Wales. Different rules apply for eligible Scottish students studying in Scotland who won't have to pay any tuition fees. Northern Irish students studying in Northern Ireland will pay a lower tuition fee, and international students whose tuition fees will vary across the UK. The spectrum for maintenance loans is even bigger and kind of impossible to gauge without knowing your personal circumstances, so check out this link to see what you might be eligible for. There are separate student finance organisations for England, Wales, Scotland, Northern Ireland, Jersey, Guernsey and the Isle of Man. And where you apply depends on where you are a permanent resident, not where you are studying. So your hometown rather than your uni. The exact process differs across the UK, but it'll typically involve setting up a student finance account and filling in an online form. It could then take up to 6 to 8 weeks to get confirmation on whether you've been successful and/or how much you'll get. Check out the How to Apply link in the description below to find out where and how you would need to apply. Application deadlines for new students are typically around the end of May or the end of June for returning students. You can still apply for student finance after the deadlines, but your money may be late. If you're still waiting for offers, you can still apply with your preferred choice and then change or cancel your application later down the line. When your loans get written off or cancelled depends on which repayment plan you're on. If I take my own student loans, for example, I am on a Plan 1 loan, which I took out in the year 2009. So my loan will be written off 25 years after the April I was first due to start making repayments. Okay, so that would be April 2013. So my loans will be written off in 2038. If you know you can pay off your student loan debt before it gets cancelled, by all means clear it and reclaim your monthly repayments. If you're not sure or definitely won't be able to, it's probably not in your best interest to make extra payments beyond what you have to pay back each month, because if it's going to get written off anyway, you might as well write off as much as possible. I've mentioned a whole bunch of extra links and resources throughout this video, which you can find either by clicking this link up here or scrolling down to the video description below. If you found this video helpful, give it some love below and hit that bell button for more videos just like this one. Thanks for watching.